Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in. Bum, 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 bum. Guess what, Angie?
What, Shelly?
It's time for another podcast.
Hot Flash Chronicles. I'm Angie.
I'm Shelly.
Welcome to the podcast, or we call it affectionately the pod.
The pod. We're pod people now, so that's good. We have a really fun episode. I think it will be fun. Maybe for some people it might be fun. Some people might be a little intimidated or scared by this subject, but we're not.
No.
This is the fun one. It is online dating versus, that's VS, in real life dating. Meeting in person.
Yeah.
They're both in real life, but meeting in person.
So, full disclosure, neither of us is dating anymore because we're both happily married. Thank God for that.
For everyone we might have.
We, or at least I, when did Tinder come out? Were you single when Tinder launched? Tinder was a post Angie and Jeff situation.
Oh, I think it was like happening around the time, but it wasn't one of the ones there are different kinds of online dating.
Right. And I met my husband on Match.com.
Mm-hmm.
So what's funny about him, so Jeff is like the nicest, kindest, straightest arrow of like rule follower kind of dude. And his profile name was Nice Guy JK.
Just kidding?
That's what I thought. And it turns out it was because it was Jeffrey Kyle. So, yeah. He didn't realize that connection, that it could be JK. Like, just kidding.
So, words of the wise.
Usernames matter. I almost declined, but he was like, I was used to like dick pics or like crude messages. And he was like, you look lovely. You sound very interesting. I love that you're involved in singing. Would you like to go to dinner this Sunday? And I was like,
is this real?
Oh, is this a bot?
Yeah, is this for real?
It's not a bot. He was for real.
He was a real person.
So I met him on Match, and he was my perfect match. Yay! But we've done a lot of dating throughout the years before we met Phil and Jeff.
Right.
And you also met Phil online in a very totally non-dating site situation.
Well, actually, we started talking on, it was either Plenty of Fish. That was one of the...
Oh, I thought it was because of the wolf thing.
No.
Oh, I've had this story wrong the whole time. Is it?
Yeah, that's not my husband.
Oh,
we'll talk about this off the pod.
Oh, no.
Off the pod. Oops. That will be in bloopers.
Sorry, Phil.
No, it was either Plenty of Fish or what was the other? There was another one.
Okay, Cupid.
Those were
the two. In England. How did you guys match?
Well, because he was, they have those same programs in England. You can talk to people all over the world, but he happened to find my profile because he was doing like I just want to chat with someone. I just want to talk to people.
I just want a friend. He wasn't thinking I'm going to import a wife from
No, I'm like, when he sent me a message, he was just like, you sound really funny. You sound interesting. I live in England. This probably isn't anything, but I just think you're funny. And so we kind of started chatting.
Yeah.
And I was always like, I'm never going to meet that dude. He's over in England. But I like English accent. So
what's not to like?
It's not to like.
Yeah.
But I think that because there was no pressure, that was how we actually had like maybe real conversations. We weren't thinking we were going to
do like video chat all the time when you were first.
We did.
Yeah. All the time.
We would. That's how we really got to know each other. And by the time I met him IRL, 4 months after we started chatting.
In real life, for those of you wondering what that acronym is.
In real life is because we talked so much. And here's the thing about online dating that maybe could be on the pro side, I would say. If you have these conversations, and like with him and I, where we were far apart, say you live in different states or different countries, you will spend as much time or more actually just talking and getting to know someone when you're exchanging information like that. Because when you go on a date in real life, when you're with a person, you might go see a movie where you're quiet, you don't talk for 2 hours, and then afterwards, maybe you go have a drink of this or that. Maybe you chat for a couple hours. Maybe you only chat for 30 minutes. And guess how many dates it takes to really get to know someone if you're always doing an activity, because that's what we think of
Right.
when we're dating.
Right.
We're going to go
For
do
sure.
a thing where all we could do was talk and communicate.
Right.
That
Because
was
you weren't
the
like,
option.
you couldn't go grab a movie.
No, we couldn't go grab a coffee together or anything. So we really felt like we were kind of friends by the time we met in real life. So that was a pro, I'd say.
I love that. And the other thing about online dating that's nice is like you get kind of a resume of sorts, even though a lot of just like real resumes, you kind of bullshit your way through it sometimes.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
One of the things that I got a lot of compliments on when I was on online dating is that I put like full body photos to show like, and I said in my profile, like, I am not thin, I am not skinny. If you're looking for athletic and fit, keep scrolling. Yeah. But if you like some curves to snuggle with, we should chat. And that, like, I had a lot of really positive feedback from people because we're not wasting time. Like, not everybody is my cup of tea and I'm not everybody else's cup of tea. And that's okay. Yeah. It's all fine.
Absolutely. And that is a really nice part about, I think it's a nice part about online dating. If you're being authentic, and like I did the same thing, I was very plus size at that time. And I put up a couple nice, portrait, kind of from the here up. Mm-hmm. But I made sure I had at least like 1 or 2 full body shots. I addressed my size. Yeah. So because you don't want to trick someone. You don't want them.
Well, it's a waste of both of your time if all they want is somebody who's a size
age filter on. They didn't have a ton of filters. Yeah. Back, this was 12 years ago. There wasn't tons of stuff, but I wanted them to know what I looked like because if they weren't interested, then I didn't want to waste my time with them, and I didn't want them to waste time with me. And I appreciated honest photos, not ones that were taken 10 years ago, an up-to-date current photo. And, let somebody see you're Amazoning for humans. You're looking for a short list of people you think might appeal to you and who you might appeal to.
Yeah. So you're getting like a lot of the stuff that might be a deal breaker out of the way when you're looking at the profile of somebody. And I have photographed people that wanted professional photos for their dating profile, which I think is great. And I had one client that was like, if I'm going to invest in something, and this could be the person that winds up being my person, why wouldn't I get the best? So she had hired a copywriter, and she had a list of professional shots that she wanted. We did photos for her, and I hope she found someone. I hope she did. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can take it, you can approach it like that, and you should. If that is who you are, that actually says something. Mm-hmm. When you put professional pictures up and it's written like that, that does say something about who you are. Like, I'm an organized person. I care about my image. I want people to see the best of me. That means something. Like, I think that it's important to be authentic to who you are because you want someone who's going to like you for you. So if you aren't an organized professional person who is getting professional pictures, that is okay too. Yeah. It's fine. Just be who you are and attract the people that you should attract.
I've done lots of photo shoots for people that were like dating, and for both men and women. Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting when you do a photo shoot for a guy who's looking to attract a mate, what their perception is of what we want to see. So should we give some like pointers?
Yeah.
I don't need personally. I'm not trying to yuck someone's yum. And maybe this is like totally gets your gears going every single time. I don't need to see you holding a fish. I don't need to see you with a car. And if there's other chicks in the photo, I'm going to assume they're exes. Ooh. Full stop.
Okay, so for real, I think if you really are an avid fisherman,
that's good to show that, but I don't need to see the fish.
Yeah.
Like when somebody has like 10 profile photos and 7 of them holding a fish, it's like, okay, I get it. Like, it's like you're a provider. I'm seeing this. I get it. Or like I had to steer one of the guys away, like, no more pictures with your car. I get that you're very proud of your car, but if this is the selling point, maybe this isn't the person you want.
Right. So for me, like, I'm okay if you have your picture of your fish in your car because I'm just going to scroll right by.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That might be somebody, maybe it must work.
There might be an avid fisher woman who totally wants that.
It must work.
Maybe it does.
I would say on dating sites when I was on them, which again, it's been like 12, 13 years, however long Jeff and I have been together, most men, I would say 80 to 90%, had pictures of themselves either with a fish or a truck or both. There's a lot.
I wouldn't do that. I didn't have any pictures of myself with a fish or with my car.
Can you imagine a girl like
they're probably
like a frying pan? Like
if
what do we
try to find that out?
Catch them all, cook them.
Yeah,
oh, that'd be clever.
That would be
Somebody
great.
write that down. Somebody that's single,
do
write that down.
If you want an avid fisherman, put you with a frying pan. That's how you do it. But I was just like, I had just real pictures from my regular life.
Yeah.
You know? And I did emphasize the things. Here's the thing that I see in a lot of, another tip. They want to know about you. They don't want to know about what you want. They want to know about you. And then that lets them decide if they think maybe you have some things in common. I have seen literal lists, and this usually comes from women. Because you could see, sometimes you could go out and see, well, what are other women looking at? What are other people looking for? How do they do their profiles? I went and read men's and women's profiles, so I could figure out how to do mine.
Smart. See, that's research.
See an Amazon list for humans. Women would not talk hardly at all about themselves. And they would say, if you're not over 6 feet tall, if you don't make over $60,000 a year, if you don't, it was a big list of, if you're not
like deal breakers,
don't even contact me.
A list of deal breakers.
Yeah. And
I'm
like,
nice.
What's going on with you, lady? Like, what do you do? Because all you've done is talk about what you won't accept. And there was very little other than like a picture of them in a low cut shirt. And that's what they had to offer, which is fine because that's what Tinder is for. But I was like, you are expecting all these things. And a lot of times these people were not anything that I would say was above average, but they were sure demanding all these things, because you know why? A woman's cachet is different than a man's.
For sure.
Women, we can get tons, even as a plus size, and at the time I was over 45 years old, as a plus size 45 plus year old woman, the first day I put my profile out, the next day I had 75 messages. Mm-hmm. And I'm an average, nice looking woman, just average.
Let's not be.
And I was plus size, and that is a niche.
Mm-hmm.
But there were still 75 people contacting me. Yeah. A handsome man with a fish or a truck or without those things, they don't get contacted. They just don't get the same amount, even when they're a hot guy. That their number ratio of how many messages they get is way different than what a woman will get. So women have some power in this end of things. And I would say don't abuse that power by making a demand list of what you will not accept.
Right.
You want to describe yourself.
Yeah.
That's what you want to use.
Like if you're looking for this kind of person, I'm your girl. Right?
Yeah. Like here's the things I wrote all about me. I'm like, here's me.
So my one of my friends at networking, I go to a networking meeting for business owners, and we have like an after get together in the lounge restaurant-y kind of thing. And she was doing Tinder. She was swiping. And I was like, oh my God, I was pre-Tinder, so I've never swiped. And she goes, oh, do you want to swipe for me for a while? And I was like, can I? So she gave me her phone.
Hire us to swipe for you.
Yes, we're professional swipers. So she gave me her phone. And I was like, what are the, she goes, dealer's choice, do whatever you want. And I was like, oh, are you serious? So I literally sat with her phone and I was like assessing all of these potential mates for her. And I know her, like, I know her style. I know who she's dated and stuff. So I was like swiping, and a couple days later, she was like, okay, some of those were catfishers. Like, also, I love your taste. Like, you have great taste. She was like, I have a few dates set up from people that you swiped. And I was like, oh, I love this. So, and I was like, hey, if anything pans out with this Nick guy, let me know. Like, he looked like a catch. And she was like, oh, he's a catfisher. I was like, damn it. And yeah.
Try again.
But it was like, and I went home and told Jeff, I was like, I got to swipe on Tinder. And he's like, this squeeze me?
Yeah.
And I said, no, on somebody else's account for her. She just was like, have a heyday, like whatever. So it was, and now she's in like a happy relationship. But I don't know if it was somebody I swiped.
I hope so. in our romantic, in our rom-com.
That would be a funny story.
Yeah. We'll do that in our spare time. We'll write that.
Copyrighted.
We did. It's
our dibs.
Keep that idea.
But we could do a story about like somebody who has their friend swipe and then it turns out to be like the love of their life. Copyright, trademark.
Don't listen to this part.
Yeah.
You didn't hear it here.
Fast forward. Anyway.
So I think Tinder is very specific because it does tend to be more based on just what you look like. Is there a place for that in the world of dating? Yes. There is.
Well, my son and his wife met on Tinder.
Some people do find a real connection. And if it is just that you want to get together, I
feel like when we make that bound chicken wow, that ages
brown
us.
Chicken, brown cow.
I feel like that ages us when we do the bound chicken.
Does.
Or if you say, you can just say like, if you just want to.
No, I like the bound chicken bow.
Okay, bound chicken wow.
Brown chicken, brown cow. Okay. Is what that is. If you just want to get together with someone because you think they look good and they think you look good and you just want to have this magic moment together.
Do it. So now let's talk in-person dating.
Mm-hmm.
So like you meet somebody across the crowded restaurant, you make eye contact and you realize that it's actually you that he's looking at and he's looking you up and down. And my God, if you're just listening to this, the antics that this one is doing is second to none.
I'm acting out somebody.
She's charade saying like somebody's giving her the eye. I love it.
And doesn't get that they're looking at her.
So how do you words
have a connection?
No, so like I'm sure you've had that happen. Like where people just like approach you at a grocery store and like you're interested.
I'm kind of oblivious to when people are actually flirting with me. I'm not a good because I'm literally like, are they talking to Angie? I'm not good at picking up the signal.
I am. I overread it. I think everybody's flirting with me.
Ooh.
But
maybe I'm not wrong. Like that's
I'm
good.
probably right.
I like
I'm certain of it.
I like that level of
self-assuredness. Why wouldn't you flirt with me?
Yeah.
I'm
Doesn't everybody want to flirt with me?
Obviously. So have you traditionally pre-online dating, were you somebody that was comfortable going up to someone and starting a conversation, or did they have to come to you?
I'm completely comfortable going up and starting a conversation. I think most of the people that I have dated with or had a relationship in my life, there was always a starting point where I kind of just wanted to be this person's friend or something, maybe. I don't know that it was always, I wanted
like an attraction?
No, I mean, there was always an attraction of some sort. Because for me to even want to be friends with somebody, there has to be something about them that kind of draws me in. But I'd say I always kind of wanted to know who they were, and then I'd develop more of the things. So a lot of times the people I met before the internet, because we are before the internet. I was in
we were alive before the internet existed.
Yeah, so
95, 94, 95. When was the internet available to muggles?
It was the mid to late 90s. Yeah, the interwebs were...
I know Kyle was a baby. We had a computer that would do that. That's DSL, by the way. That's a dial.
Horrible noise.
Yeah.
It was like in 97-ish, I think, was when people had home computers. And it's almost as soon as that was available, chat rooms started and the beginnings of online
AOL
happened. Yeah. So before that, though, in the good old days of the 1980s, back in the 80s, the 1980s, you had to meet the person or somebody blind dated you and set something up, or you met them at church or in the grocery store or at your job or in some hobby you had in your life. So it wasn't as easy to meet people.
For sure.
It wasn't.
I've always been very comfortable going up and starting a conversation. I think that I have had good reception with that. Like, wow, I love that you just like came up and...
You have confidence.
Yes. So have you ever been on a blind date?
I was
like where somebody else set you up.
I was always married to somebody from an early age.
And I was always married. I
was kind of like a serial monogamist, whereas as soon as I was divorced, then the first person I dated usually ended up being my next relationship. I wasn't good at dating.
Because you're a keeper.
I don't know about that.
I do.
I mean, are we still talking about fishing and you keep... Well,
no.
I just... No. We throw that one back. I wasn't good at or comfortable with dating, I didn't really know how to do it. I just knew how to be in a relationship because I was very young.
Yeah.
And I just didn't really, dating seemed frivolous. I was a single mom after I got divorced from my first husband. I had a kid. So dating, and just if there would have been Tinder back then, I wouldn't have all that kind of fun. I was a mom.
Yeah.
So there's
fair.
different levels of it. But I would just say that the nice thing about online dating is you can kind of pre-qualify.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like a resume. Like,
you can decide if
has
you want
kids,
to,
doesn't want kids, doesn't want to be around kids, or like,
yeah, that's
like
nice.
super religious, not religious enough. Like all of those things are like, you can kind of categorize like, well, those are some things that are important to me.
That. And I remember when online dating kind of just first started back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I remember when you would hear about people online dating, you'd think, oh, that's so sad. They don't know how to meet.
Now, like everybody's met online.
Now it's the opposite.
Almost everybody meets, I think, online.
Exclusively meet. There's definitely been a cultural shift and a, society shift that it is completely acceptable to online date. Almost like, why wouldn't you?
Have you ever done speed dating?
I have not.
Oh my God, it's so fun. I mean, if you're single.
I've heard about it.
I mean, obviously I haven't speed dated in a long time, but I went to a couple of them in Seattle, and it's like, they have a limited amount of men and women. It was like 12 each.
Yeah.
And then they had all these like little tables set up that were like far enough away to where you could have a conversation, and you'd get 5 minutes with each person, and you had a little like scorecard, if you will.
Oh.
And you would have your name at the top, and it would be like, you would tick a box like yes or no. And like Josh is a no, Alex is a yes, like whatever it is. And then they would compare cards, and like, if you ticked yes on them and they ticked yes on you, then they'll
have another session.
They'll exchange like email addresses.
Oh, okay.
And stuff. So it was super fun to like, how do I present myself in a couple minutes to where it's like, and it's interesting how like some people, you could see their personalities if they're like really shy and reserved, or like if they're super bubbly and matching your energy, or like, I don't want somebody that's just like me, because that would be.
I always kind of need the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
our husbands are the opposites of us for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
They're like respectable.
You're respectable.
Are we?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. They're very they're more reserved, I'd say.
They're calm.
They're chill. They don't like the spotlight. They're
supporters.
Yeah. They feel comfortable and
we're just Leos over here preening with our manes.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So it's good to know that. I mean, some people does attract for some people, they want, if they're a bookworm and they're quiet and chill, sometimes that person does want another person like that.
Totally.
I tend to like people who bring qualities to the table that I either admire or don't have. They're just not part of who I am, but I really respect those things and admire them, so I like to be around it, even if I can't do it. So.
Yeah, Jeff, I was worried at first that he was going to be too passive for me, because he's so chill. Like he is. I very often have people ask, like, does Jeff ever talk? He does. He talks a lot to me.
After you get to know him.
He just doesn't like small talk. That's his thing.
I don't either.
He doesn't like. He likes to have like meat and veg. He doesn't want to talk about the starches. So. When we first met, I was like, I'm going to be too much for this dude. This is a lot. I'm like, I feel like our energies aren't anywhere near in alignment. I need more verve, passion, whatever. And like second date, I went to one of his hockey games. So he plays hockey. He's on 3 teams. Like he plays a lot of hockey. And I was sitting at the very front, and he checked somebody into the boards right in front of me, which means he body slammed a guy with his hockey stick into the wall and plexiglass right in front of me. And I said, I can work with this. This I can work with. And the first time you went to one of his hockey games, we were sitting in the restaurant that overlooks the ring.
Yeah.
And she was like, is Jeff punching somebody?
He was.
And I said, he's playing hockey. That's what, and she was like, but Jeff's so nice. I said, maybe this is why he's nice.
Maybe he gets it out.
He gets it out on the ice.
He's doing some therapy, and it's good for him.
Yeah, he punches a lot.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this side of Jeff.
You were shocked.
Unexpected.
You were shocked. You're like, your husband, Jeff, is physically punching. I'm like, well, I think he like ice the goalie. Like, yeah, he's going to stand up for his teammate. I love it. So I was like, I can work with this.
Yeah.
Like he's got some.
And that's why I also would say if you meet with someone, that the downside of online dating is if you talk for too long without meeting them, sometimes it plays out and it doesn't work. You can't, if it feels like in a few conversations, like meet with them, do that.
You have to see if there's any chemistry.
Yeah, you have to. So you might as well do it earlier rather than later. Have enough conversations that you think, yes, I will go sit for 35 minutes and have a cup of coffee with this person. I always recommend a coffee date or a small date where there's not a huge investment of too much time, because that can not work. You want to kind of, to me, build into that. So do a small meet and greet.
That's really smart. My a previous relationship before Jeff, we talked for weeks on the phone before we met. And then when we met, I could not match the physical human in front of me to the person I had gotten to know through their voice.
Yep.
And I kept saying, I was like, hang on, I got to close my eyes because I couldn't connect them.
Yeah.
And I felt like this was a stranger, even though
they were the person you've been talking to.
Right. And we had some really deep conversations. And I was like, I literally I can't join and I struggled, and he struggled with me struggling.
I learned that lesson when I was on one of the dating sites and I was talking to a guy that I ended up seeing for a while. He was younger than me. This was one of my cougar moments.
Oh, yes.
Post-divorce. And
it was a cub.
He was a cub. And
I know what you're talking about, too.
I know you know. So
starts with a D?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So this person was very patient. They were younger and they knew how to do all this online dating. Obviously, I was not good at it. And we were talking and this person was like, why don't we meet? And he had said that like 2 or 3 times. And I was like, oh, and I'd put it off and, change the subject. And then there was one of these times he said, I really think you're an interesting person. I think you're cute. You seem like you'd be a lot of fun. But I'm going to tell you that if we're not going to meet, then I think it's time to say goodbye. And
how mature of him.
Yeah.
A little cub.
Yeah, for a little cub. And I was like, oh. And
she called them cubs when she was cougar dating.
I did.
I loved it.
And I said, oh. And it made me realize I just had to get over the feelings I was having, which were insecurity.
Sure.
So I'd never dated somebody younger.
Well, I remember you were worried that he was not going to be, like he would be disappointed.
Yes.
When he met you. And so you were like putting off the meeting because then you couldn't see the disappointment in his face. He was not disappointed at all, y'all.
No, he
was like 0% disappointed.
No, because he had seen the real pictures of me. We had talked. Mm-hmm. And so when we finally met, I was so nervous. We had coffee and I was so nervous. I knocked my coffee over and spilled it. And I never spill coffee.
No,
and I was just so nervous. And he reached across the table and he put his hand on my hand and he goes, I like you. You have nothing to be nervous about.
Oh, you know it.
He was.
That's so cute. That's sweet of him.
He was. And then he said, I want you. And then we went and made out in his truck.
Why wouldn't you? Solid choice.
Happy memory right there. So
let's talk about weird dates. I have one. Well, just one. I had a first date once say, hey, I'd love to take you to meet some friends of mine. And I was like, oh, that's a bold choice. We're going to go hang out with his friends.
Right.
We walk into this like meeting space that has like rows of chairs and a stage.
Oh,
he took me as a first date to an Amway presentation. And no shade on Amway, but that was a lot. And I was like,
wow.
Darren. Was his Derek? Daryl. I was like, Daryl.
No.
Did you actually? I was in my 20s. I was like, Did you bring me to is this a date? I thought this was a date. And he's like, oh, it's a date. And I'm like, I need to give you some
Don't take anyone to a multi-level marketing.
Or any kind of meeting on a first
date.
Not
an AA meeting.
No, not a meeting.
Not a Sexaholics Anonymous meeting.
I mean, no, that's a bad idea. So
no, don't do it.
No winking, Shelly. Stop it. So I was like, I just need to give you some feedback. this is not super romantic. Like, you're hot AF. And I'm probably going to make out with you, and I probably did. But, and then we
Don't do this in the future.
We went to his apartment, and I cooked him dinner. I made like a spaghetti thing, and
Did he have Amway products everywhere?
He did have Amway. And I was like, you know, when they're telling you to go find leads and do networking and like, I don't think taking somebody on a first date.
No,
that's not what they mean. Yeah. And I remember the people that were, cause it wasn't on, I don't remember how I even met him, but, maybe at a bar, but it was like, what? And the people that were leading it were like, oh, how long have you guys? And it's like, this is our first date. And the look of shock on the guy's face who had done the presentation, like, oh dear, what? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is our first and potentially only date. Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, he just looked at the guy like, bro, and he's like, he shrugged like, you told me to bring people.
Coffee date, a small coffee
not
much more appropriate than a multi-level marketing meeting or an
That's our words of wisdom and closure.
Word to the wise. That's it. And we probably have more awkward dating stories. I'm sure we do. It'll probably be a whole additional like part 2 at some point because there's a lot of weird stuff.
There is a lot of weird stuff.
But you know what we want to hear about?
What?
Their experience.
Obviously.
Online, in real life, awkward. Did you get drugged to an Amway meeting? Not drugged at an Amway meeting. Did you get taken to one on your first date like Angie? Did you spill coffee all Shelly did? We'd love to hear because it makes us feel better.
Yeah.
And so please feel free. You can comment wherever you're watching this.
Yeah.
And
listening.
Check us out on all the socials.
Subscribe. We would love, it would mean the world to us if you left us a 5-star review if you're enjoying what you're listening to. Because that's what
matters way too much to us.
That's what gets our podcast pushed out to more people, like, hey, humans like listening to these two ladies. So
randos go off about.
I would love if you would share. And in closing, let's do our rapid fire.
Love it.
Okay. No, you go first. I went down a weird tangent.
All right. Okay. I'm going to go first. We're going to trade off. This is where we both don't know. I don't know what I'm going to ask her. She doesn't know how she's going to answer. It's fun. Okay. So now that you talked about Amway, I feel almost like we have to do a thing. If you had to do a multi-level marketing product, and there's many of them, what would yours be? I would believe in. What would you?
I would do Pampered Chef. I did it for 3.5 years. It was my Toastmasters, a way to get in front of people and be comfortable speaking, and I did well at it.
You did.
And I love their product. Yeah, I did well, and I sold a lot of stuff.
Pampered Chef, shout out to you.
Yes, that does not mean I want to sign up for it.
No, contact us. We love you. We're not selling you.
Shelly, what is your favorite pizza topping?
Ooh. This is so hard. Oh, God, there's so many. I like them all. Okay. I'm going to be just straightforward. This is not going to be a surprise, but it's pepperoni. I always have pepperoni in some version.
Love pepperoni. You used to microwave it to make it crispy.
Yeah.
Like
it's good.
Chips.
Good.
Yeah.
You can make chips out of it.
Your turn.
All right. We've got to get off food now. Now I'm just thinking about it.
I know. I'm starving now.
Okay. So, Angie, would you, if something happened and you were presented in the future with an opportunity for someone to choose a blind date for you, who would be the person who you would trust?
Jason Momoa.
No. Who would trust to set you up with your blind date? So it's one of your friends or guy friends. Who would you trust to set you up on a blind date?
You would be that person.
I was waiting. I was trying to
she knew it was her.
Draw her into saying my name.
It would be you. If you could be fluent in any language, what would it be?
Oh, why did I scream again?
I yelled Jason Momoa.
We're going to go to Italy for my 60th, and we're going to podcast.
Yes. If you live in Italy and want to host us.
Yeah, if you are one of our tens of followers who lives in Italy, which you probably are, odds are.
Call us. Yeah.
Join the social media.
Okay, guys, this has been another fun episode of Hot Flash Chronicles.
It's hard to say.
It is. And
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining us and listening to our online and in-person dating escapades. We'd love to hear about yours. And that is a wrap, everyone. Ciao.
Later. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. That's a wrap on this episode. If you laughed, related, or just need more, hit subscribe.
Check out the show notes to find us on socials and YouTube and join our Patreon for exclusive extras.
And remember,
we're still hot, just in flashes.